Hi and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be reviewing these very interesting pencils. So I picked up about 18 colors of these Faber polychromos color pencils, and each one has such a wonderful packaging, and it costs anywhere between INR 120 to 150 for each pencil. So I bought them in two batches. Actually, I went first and I bought a few of them, and before I could use them, I just figured that I needed more colors, so I went and picked out some more. So I've got about 18 colors over here, and I'm just going to give this a shot. I haven't tried these before. I have tried their regular color pencils, which is I think the student grade, but I have never really tried their professional range of color pencils. So I'm very excited to try this out and to see how they are. So each pencil is packaged this way. This is basically the store's basic the like for doing their billing. So I'm just it's very easy to remove it, so I'm quite happy about that. So each one has this golden lettering. So it says it's made in Germany and it's polychromos, Faber-Castell, and it has the name of the color. Like this one is purple violet, and it also has the number. So this number is very important because each shade has a number of its own. This particular one is 156, and when I actually went to pick these up, I had looked up these colors before, and whatever felt really nice to me, I had written down those numbers. And so they have like this stand where they have these different colors put together, and they have the numbers written under them, so that's very easy for you to pick it up. I will also leave a list of all of these numbers down for you. I'll also make a small swatch sheet right now to know what these colors are. So each time you have to refill once they get over. It's very easy for you to just pick out from the numbers. However, sometimes what happens is even if the number says on the box where they are selling it, if the number says, let's say 156, please make sure that you check on the pencil if it's the same, because sometimes even if it's not the staff, it could be a customer who could have just picked out one color and kept it in the wrong box back again. So just be a little careful about that. So I'm going to now start testing these out, and let's see how soft they are. Unfortunately, while picking one of these colors, now I dropped the pencil and the tip kind of broke, and this really upsets me, but it's okay. We will test out these colors and see how they are. So I'm going to try this out in my Canson sketchbook. This one is for multimedia, and it's 180 GSM. So I'm just going to start trying each color out. So I've got all of my colors listed down in this sketchbook, and it's about 180 GSM. Let's try this out. I also don't know if this is water soluble, so we will test that out as well. So my first one is a cobalt green, so I'll make sure that I check it before I add it, and I'm quite excited to try this out for the first time. The pencil is so smooth. So when I put pressure, you can see that it darkens and then it lightens, and I don't put pressure, and I'm also able to do pretty sharp and nice lines. I love the color. I think it's really nice. The next one is the Phthalo blue, and it's so bright. So I really like that it's very soft. Even when I'm applying pressure, it's not giving me any pain in my wrist. I tend to get that when I use quite hard color pencils, which kind of has put me off color pencils for a while. So I like that this is not that way. The next one is the, I don't know how to pronounce this, it is Indentrine. So it's a kind of a dark blue. I won't call it like a Prussian blue, but I think it's even darker than that. The next one we have is a dark indigo, and this is looking like Payne's gray, actually, not really like an indigo, and it's quite nice. I like that it's that way, because of all the colors I noticed that I didn't have Payne's gray, and I'm glad that I got this one, so I can use it for doing like a lot of detailing. The next is a dark cadmium yellow. This is one of my favorite colors. So I find this a little hard, though. It's not as smooth as the rest. Maybe it's just the lead of this particular one, or maybe with use it'll get better, but the others are much smoother. Then is the brown ochre. since my paper is textured, you can see the beautiful texture that it is able to create. So there are a lot of purposes for which people would be getting these pencils. My main purpose is to create a lot of mixed media artwork. So if I'm going to be using gouache in the base, then I'm going to use these pencils on top of it. Or if I'm going to do urban sketching, then I'm just going to carry these pencils outside with me and then draw either with them directly, or I'm going to create like some artwork. Like I could do some watercolors first and then use this on top of that. So that would depend on whether these are water soluble or not. This is the earth green yellowish, which I think is such a beautiful color. Juniper green. So I've never heard of these color names before, and I find this so interesting because I think when you're outdoors, you do tend to see these kind of colors a lot, but it sometimes gets difficult for you to mix these colors in whichever medium that you're using. At least, like, for me it is that way, because I would carry less number of colors and I would end up using all of the same type all the time, and most of my artwork would end up looking similar. So I like that there's so much of variation in the color pencil colors, so that way I can at least use those and make my artworks look different. So there's very little difference between the chrome oxide green and the juniper green. The juniper green is a little more brighter and the chrome oxide green is a little more on the darker side. So it's got like a nice shade to it. So when you use this a little darker, you can see how beautiful the shades are. So if I'm going to be doing some outdoor work, then I can have like greens in so many different colors, which is so beautiful. Next is the dark cadmium orange. So simple and fun to use. Next is the Venetian red. All of these colors that I've chosen are all part of like an earthy tone, and now I think a few brighter ones are going to come, like the pink, carmine, the rose, but I like that none of them are too overpowering and at the same time they are not too dull. So I was looking for like a palette where I can have very pretty colors. They're not too dark and at the same time not too light, and I was not looking for neon as well. So I'm quite happy with these colors that I have got. Very little difference between the pink and the rose carmine. The rose is a lot more, I think, soothing than the pink carmine, so that is a little bit of difference in that. But pinks are pretty useful if you're going to do some florals and stuff like that. So I knew that I wanted two distinct colors, and fuchsia was something that I just picked out of the whim. I thought it looked very pretty in terms of like the pencil color. So it's almost similar. You can see how, so you do see like a huge difference like between this and this. Don't worry about that. Just always look at the lead, whatever the color the lead is. Like for example, in this, which is your rose carmine, you can see that the print of your paper is quite different, but the actual one is quite different. So that way, like, sometimes they'll also allow you to do swatches, but because these pencils are expensive, they may not always allow you to do swatches. So that gets a little difficult because if you're not sure, so you can always go to their website otherwise and check if they have swatches done and then pick it up, or like, from the ones that I have created over here, these 18 colors, if you like any of those, that they'll go with your style, then you can go to the store and pick these out. They're so comfortable and nice and easy to hold and use. So these are my 18 colors. I am now going to test out with some water and see if it is water soluble or it's not. So I've got a little bit of water in my brush, and no, these are not water soluble, which is amazing. Why is it amazing? I will tell you, because the way I am going to use them is either draw with these directly first and then use some sort of a watercolor on top of it. Otherwise, the other style is going to be where I put down some gouache and then I use these pencils on top of it. So I want to test these out with gouache for sure. So I'm going to make like a few blobs, and we'll find out if our pencil is able to hold it. So I've got blob of color over here. I'm going to take a little bit of teal. We will create a small swatch, let it dry, and then we will create some things on top of it, and we'll see. So this is a very basic gouache that I'm using. It's from Bristol. I'm not using a very thin layer, and at the same time not using a very thick layer. It's using just right, as I would normally if I'm using gouache. So I've got one blob here. Maybe we'll try and create one more. So we can try out like different colors on top of them, and oops, we'll see how this works once it's dry. And I will also test this out on it and see how it works. My gouache has dried, so in the second one I'm going to make like a face. So I'm going to try and use a couple of colors, and we'll use some contrasting colors on this. And in the first one I'm going to use this blues and see what can be made out of it. So let's try out first with the face. So I'm using first the this one is the dark indigo. And it's so beautiful on this. Like, I don't have to put a lot of pressure. That way I'm quite happy. And if we've got some glasses in pink, and let's make some hair. So I'll probably use green for the hair, maybe light green. Let's try and see how the lighter colors work on this. Again, I'm not going to be using realistic style of art. That's not the intention over here, which is why I'm okay with the colors being this way. I think it's very nice. It's so smooth. It flows really well on the gouache. So that's a very good thing for me. I'm quite happy. Like, and this is pretty dark. Like the way that I've applied the gouache, it's pretty strong. So on the lighter colors, I think it'll look even more beautiful. So for this one, let's just try and make, you know, something out of it. I'm probably, you know, if I add some trees and maybe like building. You could use it in a lot of different ways. Maybe you're somebody who's going to be using this for doing a lot of your just pencil work, and that's fine, you know. For me, I think the purpose is for this, so I'm quite happy about that. And I really like how it's come. So I'm a big fan of these pencils. I think I'm really glad that I took the plunge and decided to get these pencils, and I love all of the colors. I'm going to make a ton of artwork with these. I'm planning to also start a daily sketchbook, because I think that's so important. No matter at what stage of art you are in, it's very important for you to get better at your skills and to also use all the different art supplies, and it gives you a really good chance to experiment. So that's what I'm going to do. So if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe to it. If you like this video, do like this video, like hit the like button and comment and share it as well. And watch out for future videos on doing a lot of different kinds of artwork with different art supplies that I have. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. See you soon for the next one. Bye bye.